Today's story comes from the middle of the AIDS crisis. Back in 1992, my lover Carl died of complications of AIDS after a 3-year battle with infections like pneumocystis pneumonia and uh, Kaposi's sarcoma. Carl didn't really have a good role model growing up, so he was kind of a wild teenager. Being gay and a teenager for him was truck stops and way stations north of DC and doing a lot of drugs. And that was actually a problem when he had AIDS and needed to be treated because the sulfa drugs wouldn't work with him. He metabolized them too easily because of all of his drug use in the past. So the only alternative that was left for him was AZT, and that was hard on him too. He lasted 3 years and did a little bit better on the Thanksgiving just before that he died. And he was able to attend the Thanksgiving meal, but his health rapidly declined and he died about 3 weeks later on December 10th in 1992. And part of what made that difficult was that the doctor had told me that he was going to, if I agreed to it, having his medical power of attorney, agreed to have his morphine dose increased. And I said, that's good, right? Because then he won't be in as much pain. He said, well, actually, what it will do is it will eventually congest his lungs to the point where he won't be able to breathe anymore. He'll suffocate. And I thought about it for a long time, and I finally agreed to it because I remembered Carl had once said to me that he desperately didn't want to live anymore if he couldn't do the things that he loved. He even at one point asked me if I'd be willing to smother him with a pillow. So this was what happened. He went into a coma the last week he was alive. And on the night before he died, he had his one lucid moment in a whole week. And his father, who was staying with him at the moment, heard him say, I don't want to die. And the next day, he died. Unfortunately, when I had just left, and the people of his caregivers he cared least about were there taking care of him, he felt comfortable letting go. When I came back, he was gone. We had a little impromptu service while we waited for the coroner to take his body away. And as his request, he was cremated. And about a week later, we spread his ashes various places along the Pacific coast. And I was the executor of his estate. I took many months to try to get all of the possessions that he wanted delivered to all of his friends and family. And that's what I had to deal with at 32. It was my lover of 6 years, dying of AIDS, a disease that would not very long after that be treated. But it was too late for him because the Reagan administration was unwilling to put much effort into curing a disease that was killing just the gays and the drug users.